Let's just take a deep breath together. You know, we're moving through this month. Today is the fourth Sunday in the month. That is unbelievable that we are already 4 Sundays into 4 weeks into this new year. And whether we believe it or not, that's the truth. We are 4 weeks into this year. So this month, we've been talking about the call of passion. That's been our theme for the month, the call of passion. And it's really required me to look at what is my passion. And apparently many of you, because I've gotten quite a bit of feedback from several people who have been really concerned about passion and wondering what their passion is and wondering if they are going to realize that passion or follow their passion. And so I'm just reminding you that passion is always calling us. It is always calling us to follow it. And each of us has passion. Each of us has dreams. Each of us has desires. Each of us has those things that we have to do. Whether we answer that call or whether we follow that call or not, we all have it. And so I've been inviting you all month to just open up and allow your passion to find you. Allow your passion to reveal itself to you. Allow whatever it is that you have to do to reveal itself to you, just by being in that place of allowing. Just by being in that place of allowing. Last week, we talked about pulling out all the stops. Before that, we've talked about just accepting the invitation of spirit to come dance. However it is we do it, the important thing for us to do is to just open up, take a breath, and just allow, being that place of allowing. You know, we're always in a place of allowing or resisting. There's no in between. We're either allowing or we're resisting. We're allowing or we're resisting. And so I invite you to just take an opportunity to take a look at yourself and determine, am I allowing? And it isn't hard. It isn't hard to figure that out. It's just thinking about what you're thinking, how you're feeling. If you're saying no, whether you're saying yes, whether you're in the flow, all of that allows us to really recognize when we are allowing or whether we are resisting. And when we are not in that place of allowing, passion cannot reveal itself to us. Very little can reveal itself to us when we are in that place of resistance, that place of being closed. And so I'm inviting you to just remember to breathe. That's the big way. That's the first way of being in a place of allowing, is just by remembering to take a deep breath. And when we take a deep breath, we take an energetic step back. And as we take that energetic step back, we get a chance to just open up. We get a chance to just open up and just allow ourselves to be in the free flow of spirit. And so today I want to talk about the dream police. The dream police, that's the topic for today, the dream police. You know, going back to the idea of passion, our passion is about desire. It's about what is our desire? What is our heart's desire? What is our dream? Because our dreams, the things that we desire, are also our dreams. What are our dreams? What are your dreams? And so in defining desire, the Science of Mind textbook in the glossary says that desire is not a half-hearted wish. It's not half-hearted wishing. Our wishing is always capricious, it says. Our wishing is always capricious. We wish for one thing today, and then tomorrow our attention has gone off into another direction altogether. That's not what desire is about. Desire is that something that impels us to follow it, that something that impels us to open up. Desire is about that divine urge that is seeking expression, and that divine urge is always seeking expression through us. That's what our desire is. Our desire is the voice of spirit, just reminding us that thing that we're wishing for, that thing that we're desiring, rather, that thing that we're desiring is on its way to us right here and right now. And so desire is a good thing. Desire is a good thing. Holmes also says that life has implanted us with a big desire to do things, to build, to create, to accomplish, and to live every moment to the full. From this inward desire comes all our hopes, all our aspirations, which are the motive power behind our actions. Too often we sit around dreaming of great things to come, of big events that may transpire in the future, rather than seizing the opportunity that is always at hand to accomplish the thing we are doing, whatever it may be. That's what desire is all about. That's what desire is all about, is right here, right now, right where we are. And so just opening our hearts to that desire, opening our hearts to that dream. And the question that I have for you, what are you dreaming? What are your dreams? What are your dreams? What have you been dreaming about? What is it that you have to do? This is the question every week that I've been asking. What is it that you have to do? What is it that's really just tugging at your heart for you to do? What is it that you would really regret if you were about to leave this planet and had not done it, had not at least started in that direction of what it is your heart desires? You know, in the book, the Writing for Your Life, Dina Metzger gives an example of how to deal with dreams. And she says that, imagine that there's a knock at the door, a sudden knock at the door, and a trusted friend comes in and warns that the dream police is going to arrive at your house in 20 minutes. And anything that you love that you have not written down with specificity and with particularity will just disappear. It's going to be gone if you don't write it down. Everything that you love with specificity and particularity, not just writing about trees, but an oak or an elm or a pine, not just animals, but a wolf or a dog or a cat, not just people, but Mary or John or Sue, something particular, something specific. So anything that is not written down with specificity and particularity will just disappear. Anything that you love, anything that you dream of. So that's what I'm asking you this question today about the dream police. Anything that you love, anything that you dreamed of, any dreams that you have, and we have more than just one dream. You've more than just one dream. There are dreams contained within dreams. There are passions contained within passions. There's so much more. Once we start to really articulate, once we start to really get specific about what our passion is, then we recognize there's so much more contained within that passion, so much more contained within that one dream. So the point for us to do is just get real clear about it. So if you have dreams and passions, anything that's not written, that you really love, anything that's not written down, the dream police will arrive at your house in 20 minutes and it will all poof, just disappear. It'll all disappear. It'll all disappear. I'd like you to take a breath on that and just really begin to look at, what are your dreams? Asking yourself, what are my dreams? What is it that I really would regret not having done if I would leave the planet today? What is it that really speaks to my heart, that just keeps tugging at my heartstrings? What is it that's seeking to express through me? That's seeking to express through me that cannot express through anybody else in exactly the same way that it can through me? What is that thing, that urge that's been pushing? What is it? So I'm asking you, what are your dreams? What are your dreams? What are your dreams? And that's the first thing I'm inviting you to do, is to start to make a list of what are your dreams. And don't be afraid of thinking that they're too big or too little or whatever. Don't judge them. Because in asking the question, how do we get our dreams from that dream state into that state of living them? Holmes says that we have to take action because dreams require action. Dreams require action. There's something that we have to do. There's something that we have to do. And one of the first things he says that we have to do is to take full responsibility for our own lives. Take full responsibility for our own lives. Take full responsibility for our own lives. And that means moving out of blame and moving out of judgment about what somebody else did or what somebody else didn't do or what we haven't done and all that. And just letting go of the past, letting go of the past, letting go of the past, and then forgiving all the people who are in our lives and the people who have been in our lives, people who are in our lives today, and forgiving ourselves. Those are the ways that we get out of the dream state into the living state and beginning to really, really live our dreams. And this is how we get clear about what our dreams are, so that when that dream police comes, if the dream police does come, that we aren't left with everything just going poof and disappearing. So I'm inviting you to really take a look at and really start to think about, what are my dreams? What are my must-haves in this life? What are my must-haves in this life? What is it that I must do? What is it that I have to do? What is it that I have to express? And as I said to you last week, and I've said before, that when we get into looking at our passions and really being clear about them and really being open to allowing them to express, we really are answering our visioning questions. We really are answering the visioning questions. And, we had community visioning last week. And then we have life's purpose visioning every other week with the community connection meeting that we have on Tuesday evenings. And so the questions are always before us. What must I release? And when I release something, then I'm creating a space for the passion to come through and for the dream to reveal itself. What must I embrace? And what I must embrace, embracing my passion, embracing my dream, really looking at those things, really looking at those things. And so when you start to make a list of what your dreams are, when you start to write it down, and really that 20-minute period is really important because it gives you a chance to just really get clear. And not dilly-dally around and think about it. Well, I'll think about it and I'll see what happens. And no, you got 20 minutes. You have 20 minutes to write down everything that you love. Write down those things that speak to your heart. Write down those things that you would really regret not doing or not starting on, or whatever the case may be. You got 20 minutes to do that. And if they're not all written down in 20 minutes, then they're gone. They evaporate. And so I invite you to really engage in that exercise. Really engage in that exercise so that you can determine what is it that you're here to do? What is it that is seeking expression through you? What is it that is seeking expression through you? And then the next thing I invite you to do is, after you take a breath from all that scurrying around, getting those dreams down on paper, then just really, what is it? What must I allow? What must I allow in order to make this happen? In order for this to happen, in order for my dreams to be made manifest? What must I be willing to allow? And in the allowing process, it means that we are opening up. When we are allowing, we're in that place of the flow. When we're in that place of the flow, we can only be in that place of the flow when there's space for the flow to happen, when there's room for the flow to happen. So that within that allowing has to be something about releasing. What do I have to let go? 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 And so that I create a space and just be in that place of allowing these dreams to come forth, allowing these dreams to reveal themselves to me. And so I'm asking you to really ask the question of yourself, what must I allow? What must I allow so that these dreams I can put them down on paper, so that I can really look at them, so that I can really consider them, so that I can really begin to live life to the full, which is what we're here to do, live to the fullest. And not getting, as I said before, not getting concerned about whether this is too big, whether it's too late, whether I can really afford it, whether I really know how to do it, none of that is important. None of that is important. Ernest Holmes says, anything you can dream of is not too great for you to undertake if it hurts no person and if it brings happiness and good into your life. Anything that you can dream of is not too great. Anything that you can dream of is not too great if it hurts nobody and it brings happiness and good into your life. And so dream big, but be very specific about it. Be very, very specific about it so that you know exactly what it is you want. You know what your no matter what's are. And then you're able to move forward from there. You're able to move forward from there. So after you move into that place of asking yourself, what am I willing to allow? Then the third thing is, what am I willing to make happen? What am I willing to create? What am I willing to make happen? Because there's some things we have to make happen. And we make things happen not from a place of forcing, but from a place of allowing. Because once we move into that place of allowing, then we can make things happen from the inside out. We make things happen in that way. We create things from that way. And when we start to really look at how can I make things happen? How can I make these things come into being? How can I make these dreams, make these dreams come to mind as I'm making this list? How can I do all that? It requires us to just be in a place of oneness with spirit, Because I'm going to ask you also, where does your spiritual practice come into all this? Where does your connection with spirit? Where does your connection with God come into all this? Where does your openness to divine guidance come in? Where does your recognition of your oneness and recognition of the fact that if you're feeling separate from your dreams, if you're feeling separate from your passion, then you're feeling separate from God. And so how do I heal this sense of separation from God? How do I heal this sense of separation? Because there has to be a sense of separation from God that makes me feel separate from my passion, that makes me feel separate from my desire. If you're feeling like you don't have any desire to do anything, you don't have any passion about anything, that's a good sign that it's time to just take a deep breath, take a step back, and just really reconnect with source. Reconnect with your source, reconnect with that energy, because that divine urge is always there. The divine urge is always there. The divine, the divine itself is always right where we are. It is always seeking expression. It's always standing at the door knocking. And until we can take a breath and open up and just really connect with it, it's just going to stand and knock. It's not going to force its way in. And so I'm inviting you to really, 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 really take a look at all this. Time is marching on, folks. Time is passing. As I said before, we are already more than halfway through this month, the first month of the year. Time is marching on. Time waits for no one. And so I invite us all to get on the bandwagon. And I call the God wagon the bandwagon. Get on the bandwagon. Fasten those spiritual seatbelts. And then really, really set our intention to move forward in our lives and just allow our dreams to unfold, allow our dreams to be made manifest, allow our dreams to reveal themselves to us completely, and then move forward with them. Take action on them. Take action on them. Because if we're not taking any action, nothing's happening. It's just a wish. It's just a wish. And we can't go through our lives wishing I had this, wishing I had that, wishing I had done this, wishing I could do. That's all that's subject to change. All that's subject to change. And it gives us the opportunity to cop out of living. Because when we were just wishing, then we got reasons and excuses why things can't happen. And so I'm inviting you, don't get caught up in that. I'm inviting you to not get caught up in that. I'm inviting you to be proactive before the dream police comes. Make a list. Make a list of your dreams. Make a list of what you really love. Make a list of what your no matter what's are. Just make a list of all that. And then, as I said, just really open up and see, how can I allow these? How can I allow these to come forth? How can I allow these to come into fruition? How can I allow this? And then what do I have to do to make it all happen? And that's what brings us to our coming back into unity with the all that is. It may mean changing your thinking about something. It may mean changing the way that you're looking at the world. It may mean changing the way you're interacting with somebody else, or the way that you're moving through your life. It may mean changing the way you speak about things. It may mean changing your relationships. So many things. I'm just giving examples. But I invite you to really spend the time, looking at, how can I live my very best life? How can I live my life that I was created to live? How can I be that place and that space through which God expresses to the fullest, according to my uniqueness, according to who I am, according to my own unique qualifications, if you will? Those are the questions that we have to be asking ourselves. And this is the way that we motivate ourselves, just by beginning to really look at, what can I do right here where I am right here, right now? What can I do right now to get me out of this rut? What can I do right now that's going to make me feel better? What can I do right now that's going to make me start to think differently? That's going to make me optimistic about life, because there's so many things going on that can make us pessimistic about it. about life, about each other. What can I do right now to change the way I feel? What can I do right now that gives me hope? That gives me hope that things are getting better. What can I do right now? Well, the first thing you can do is take a breath. That's always the first thing we can do, is take a deep breath. And then the next thing we do, as I said, is to move into that place of just allowing, and just move. Because when we take a breath, we move back into that space of oneness with the all that is. We move back into that space of recognizing that there's only one power, and there's only one presence, and there's only one life. And that life is my life, and that life is right where I am, right here and right now. That's what we do when we move into that place of allowing and just open ourselves up. And so make that list of your dreams. Make that list. Do that for yourself. Do that for yourself. Be willing to change. Be willing to do something different. Be willing to live your best life. Be willing to live your best life. What is that saying? Be willing to dance like there's no one looking. Sing like no one can hear you. Love like you've never been hurt. And live like there's heaven on earth. Because there is heaven on earth. There is heaven on earth right here and right now, right where we are. And we have the opportunity to express and to experience that heaven on earth right here and right now, simply by following our dreams, simply by following our passion, simply by not letting the dream police wipe it all out. And that's what I'm inviting you to do today. Live like there's heaven on earth, because heaven is right here, right now, right where we are. So let's take a deep breath together as we move into prayer. Just moving into that place of knowing and sensing and feeling the power and the presence of God, that only power, that only presence, that only life, that only mind, that only breath, that is God. That's what I choose to call it. But by any other name, but any or no name at all, it's the source of our being. It is the only thing that is. It is that from which all things are made. It is that from which all things are made. And so just recognizing this onlyness, I know that this onlyness is my very life. It is the life of us all. It is that from which I can never be separate, no matter what the case may be. I can never be separate from this one power, this one presence, this one life, this one breath, this one activity. How awesome it is to know this truth. How awesome it is to stand in this truth, that God is everywhere present, that God is right here, right now, right where I am. Always. And so it is from this place of awareness that I speak this word for each of us this day. Just speaking the word for each of us this day, that knowing that all needs are met in each and every moment of each and every day for each of us. Knowing that wholeness exists right where we are, and that wholeness is revealing itself as peace, as love, as joy, as healing in the body temple, as healing in relationships, as abundance, as prosperity, as whatever it is we need. God is showing up as that. Wholeness is revealing itself as that thing itself. And so I'm just knowing for each of us that we open up, that we release and let go of those things that don't serve, that we open our hearts and our minds to that which is for the highest and the best for all concerned, and that our lives are moving forward in a different way. Our lives are moving forward in God, and we are being guided and directed every step of the way. I know that God goes before each of us, making straight our way in all ways, in all things. And there's always that divine guidance. There's always that divine right action. There's always enough of whatever it is that we may need at any given time. And so I pause momentarily so that you may speak the names of anyone you'd like held in prayer. You may speak their names silently or aloud, but you may speak them now. And so for all those whose names were spoken here this day, I know that God is right where each one is, blessing and keeping them. God is in the midst of every situation. God is in the midst of every circumstance. God is in the midst of every event, no matter what we may name it, no matter what we may call it. For God is in the midst of everything, for God is everywhere present. And this word goes out to our government officials always, always, knowing that decisions are being made for things that are for the highest and best for all, that there's unity happening in our government. There's unity happening in our country. There's unity happening in this world. There's unity happening as we recognize that there's but one. There's but one life, and we are all a part of that one life. And so I know that one life guides and directs governments everywhere, and that there's peace established in every heart, and there's love established everywhere, for there is God's presence everywhere. This is the truth that I know. This is the truth that I know. And this is the truth that I stand in. Thank you, Father, Mother God. Thank you, Father, Mother God, for the perfect manifestation of the word that's spoken here this day. I know indeed that all is well, because I know indeed that all is God. And I simply allow it to be. And so it is.